Hi guys, welcome back to 52 Men of the Bible. We are hurtling through these men now, aren't we? And we are in week 38. And we're going to look at a guy this week called Jairus. Now, any of us who have a son or a daughter or actually anyone that we love or hold dear who is suffering, we will know how Jairus feels in this moment, and it explains a little bit why the leader of the synagogue. Now, if you know that Jesus had run-ins and battles with the religious leaders, but this guy comes to Jesus because he needs his help, and it's a fascinating story about that connection between Jesus and Jairus himself. So, grab your Bibles, read Mark chapter 5. And it's verses 21 to 24 and also 35 to 43. And then you'll get a little bit of background on this, and we'll have a chat about Jairus and his relationship with Jesus in a couple of minutes. Okay, guys, so we're looking at Jairus. Not a lot known about Jairus, really. I want to start off in the same place that the chapter really starts off in the 52 Men book, and that is with the meaning of Jairus' name, because if I don't do it now, I might just forget to say it. Jairus means enlightened. So it's like, basically, this is a moment in this guy's life where he is about to be enlightened. I don't know about you, and this is probably a little bit of holy ground. You've got to tread on it really carefully. But have you ever been in a situation where your entire world has fallen apart? I mean, it's just like literally the heart of the life that you have is just ripped out, and you are left destitute in despair, and you just don't know where your help is going to come from. You don't know where to turn. I know a lot of people have been in that kind of situation, and Jairus is literally in that situation right now. It's a father's worst nightmare. His daughter is about to die and eventually dies. It's like, what do you do with this? I just don't actually have the words to describe what that must have felt like for him. Jairus was a man of massive influence. He was one of the religious leaders. He was a leader of the synagogue. So that meant he was a top gun, if you like. He was the guy who organized all of the religious services and rituals. Basically, I think to a degree, if you didn't do what Jairus said, then you weren't accepted by God. That was the kind of belief system in place at that time. He would have been part of that conversation, I think, about what we're going to do with Jesus. Jesus is a right nuisance to us. You know, the religious leaders trying to get rid of Jesus, even ultimately plotting his death. Certainly, I think before this moment, Jairus would not have been the biggest fan of Jesus. But what do you do? What do you do in a situation where you are about to lose your daughter and you have no hope of her coming through, and the heart is being ripped out to your family? I think all of the stuff that you think is important becomes less important, doesn't it? And what Jairus believed about Jesus or thought of Jesus probably paled into insignificance, because he knew that Jesus was his only place of hope. Now, all of this is happening at a time when Jesus is like on on a super level of power. I mean, it's like literally healing and renewal is just flowing out of Jesus. Wherever he's going, healings are happening, and people are having their lives turned around. I mean, even in the middle of this story, Jesus is being tossed around by the crowds. He's trying to, muscle his way through, and a woman who has been unwell for over 12 years comes up and just touches the hem of his cloak, and she's healed. I mean, this is like supercharged power. This is, the kingdom is flowing in ways in which Israel, I don't think any of us have really seen before. And Jairus comes to Jesus because he desperately needs Jesus's help. Now, let's be frank about this, okay? Jairus, leader of the synagogue, very well-educated man, probably very wealthy, probably lived in a really, really nice home. He would have been educated, sophisticated. He would have been a deep thinker. He would have been the person that all of us maybe would have gone to when we needed wisdom. We would have gone to him to ask the questions about life and all sorts of stuff like that. And he comes up to Jesus. And what's Jesus' response to him? It's just simply 2 words. Just believe. I mean, Jesus knows what he's going through. Jesus knows everything that's happening in his life. He knows his daughter is lying there dead. And he says to Jairus, just believe. I mean, this is the moment of enlightenment for Jairus. He's got a choice. All that he's thought, all that he's built his life upon, all that he's had his security from is now of no real value. He's standing before Jesus, who he knows has power, and he knows who he is. I think maybe for the first time he really knows who Jesus is, and he has that choice to be like a child and just believe. And Jairus chooses to just believe. And we know from having read the story that he goes back and his daughter is well. He has his daughter back. He gets his family back. His family get their heart back, and the trauma and the loss and all of that is all healed. As a family, they are restored. And it required one thing: just believe. So I don't know who you are. I don't know what your situation is in this moment when you're watching this video. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know where your foundational blocks of life are based. But if they're not based upon the rock that is Jesus, and if you are relying on the fact that you are a very intelligent person, that you have charisma, that you are the person that everybody loves to have around, your humor, your job, your lifestyle, the car you drive, the home you live in, whatever it is that you are trusting in right now, just know that what happened to Jairus can happen to any one of us, and it does happen to all of us at some point. And Jesus says to each of us, just believe. So are you going to trust Jesus? Is that going to be your foundational block in your life? Because if it is, then you're building your life on the rock, and Jesus will never fail you. He will bring you through whatever you are going through, or whatever you may well go through that's still on the horizon. The best thing, the only thing any of us can do is trust Jesus. And all he says is just believe. Have a great week, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.